This is my van. I sleep in this van.
Let me say this, man. You sleeping in a van? Hey, man, I got a dude that slept in a Honda Fit for 3 years. And that Honda Fit is probably 1/10 the size of that van. That van looked plush. Good afternoon, folks. Jake Zweig, United States Navy SEAL, Michigan MBA, Naval Academy graduate, mentor to the world's finest. We build champions for life. It's just not a mantra. It's a mindset. And today, we're bringing you something a little bit different. My man David is sitting in a van somewhere in the United States, feeling down on his luck, a little bit worse for wear, but I'm going to throw him an olive branch. We're going to critique this video, and I'm going to try to reach out to him and figure out what's going on, man, and how I can help him and how we can get him back on his feet, man. So let's watch. Let's see what he's going through, and let's see if we can't help him out.
I am the ghost of Christmas future, and I'm not here to bear good tidings. I'm here to scare you. I wanted to make this video something that's been speaking to my heart. I was in the Navy from 2011 to 2015, and I hated it. I counted down the days until I got out, literally counted down the seconds until I got out. And then
let me stop you, Dave. Let me just tell you, man, from a personal standpoint, I've been in some pretty bad places. United States Naval Academy being one of the top suck the life out of your soul sucking institutions in America. You got to find the best. If you're counting the days, man, one day can turn into a week if you're trying to count the minutes. You got to learn to be positive. I think you've lost your positivity. We're going to look at this, but Dave, I can tell you right now, you're sucking the life out of me like Darth Vader. You 100% are on the dark side, and we got to get you over here where the Jedi are.
And a few months before I got out, went to go see a movie by myself on the weekend. They had it playing on the base theater. And as usual, it was just me to go see a movie. I texted a buddy of mine if he was interested in going to see it. He messaged back, he wasn't. Some of my friends, as much as I love them, they drank a lot. What do you do usually in the Navy on the weekend? I went to go see this movie myself, being a movie buff that I am. After I watched the movie, I was intrigued. It wasn't the greatest movie in the world, but I was still intrigued about it. And I had never heard of this person on who the movie was made about. After I watched the movie, I sought out the book, which wasn't hard because, I mean, it's a very popular book. And after I read the book, or while I was reading the book, actually, I had an epiphany. And it wasn't just a thought, it was an epiphany. It was a collation of all my life coming to a singular moment that I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. That I knew that my destiny was to be a Navy SEAL. Everything in my life, everything had led to that moment. It really had.
So David, let me ask you this. If everything had led to that moment, were you a state champion wrestler? Were you a high school water polo player? What led you to believe that you could go be a Navy SEAL, that you had this epiphany? Did you grow up in a very rough household chopping wood by hand all day? What was your grit factor here, David? Because I know just watching a movie, Lone Survivor 2011, might have motivated you to join the SEAL teams or take a shot at buds. But if you didn't have the grit, it don't matter how much motivation or epiphany you had, you're not going to be successful. So I'm just asking you some questions on here. I'm going to try to get some answers out of you, reach out to you and figure it out. But I just watching a movie and getting an epiphany ain't the answer, my dude.
I didn't do it. I can make every excuse in the world and I can make every excuse under the sun. But I didn't do it because I was afraid. I was afraid. I didn't even give myself the chance to do it. And I remember whenever I was sitting in my CO's office, he's a great guy. He was like Clint Eastwood meets Mr. Rogers. I mean, he was just the most kind person you ever met in your life, but he was also like a badass. And I remember sitting in front of him and he said, "What are your next plans? What do you want to do?" I was almost embarrassed of what I had come to realize because especially at the time, it seemed like such a huge thing. And there was my dream sitting in my heart and I didn't say anything. Years have gone by since I've gotten out of the Navy. And it has not been a pretty 10 years since I've gotten out of the Navy.
So let me say this. A lot of people make decisions based on feelings. I'm going to implore you to make decisions based on facts. If you don't have anything better than the United States Navy, then you probably shouldn't get out. If you don't have a plan to prosper when you're going to get out of the military, then of course you're going to find yourself on very hard times. I just had a young man quit United States Marine Corps OCS training, And he called me last week, and he is not in a very good place.
It has to be measured out, but you don't have to cut around the wheel wells because the foam will simply compress
and now you're going to have very
squish
poor
around the wheel
consequences
wells.
that result from that decision. If you're not willing to fight through the hard stuff to get to where you want to be, you're never going to get there.
Slept in vehicles. I've done things that I'm not proud of.
Dave, what have you done, man? You've been out there working the streets, Dave. What have you done? You stole. You like, we've all done stuff we're not proud of, okay? But you're a grown-ass man now. We're going to have to work on this positivity because right now you are sucking the life soul out of me with your negative energy.
What happens when you don't pay the price to follow your dreams? As they say in the Bible, the wages of sin are death. And that is what happens when you decide that you're not going to follow whatever it is that you believe in, or faith, or whatever you want to call it, and you want to live in the devil's delusion, which is fear. He's more than happy to welcome you into his kingdom.
So Dave, listen, let me ask you a question, man. If you're going all religious on us, how come you're not blaming God for your current situation? You're trying to say the devil sucked you in, but you're not calling on God to suck you out. Hey, brother, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm just telling you, stinking thinking will get you killed every time. Put you in a bad place. Stinking thinking has never won any championships, ever.
It's not a motivational video to show you who I am. You know, here's my success story. I did it. You can do it too. Go and do it. This is the moral story. I am Christmas future. You're doomed. If you do not follow your fear, if you do not follow your dream, if you do not follow your passion, if you do not do things that scare you, this is my van. I sleep in this van.
Let me say this, man. You sleeping in a van? Hey, man, I got a dude that slept in a Honda Fit for 3 years. And that Honda Fit is probably 1/10 the size of that van. That van looked plush. I mean, shit, there's people living in a van. Ask Alex, the dude that climbed El Capitan free solo. That dude lived in a van for like 15 years. So come on, man. Your life ain't that bad. It ain't. You living in a nice-ass van. Shit, I take it the van runs. I'm take it you put gas on it. You go anywhere you want. Hey, man, I look forward to talking to you, Dave, because we're gonna work on this, man. I don't think you're doing as bad as you think you're doing. And I think you're just beating yourself up. And at some point, you got to cut all that cancer out of your body and smile.
That blue thing on the floor was my mattress. Got an air hole in it, so it's been deflated for a few months. It's October. It's getting cold. I don't say this stuff to you to make you feel sorry for me. I say this to you as a warning. You as a warning of what not to be.
Hey, everybody listening to this. Go out and conquer the day. Be a savage in everything you undertake today, and you have no worries or fears that you could ever end up like David. Trust me on that one.
Do not end up like me. Do not, as cliche as it sounds, let your dreams be dreams. Don't fold under pressure. Now, there's a caveat to this. I'm not simply saying go be a Navy SEAL. I'm saying try, attempt, speak the word, stand out, say something. When the moment is given to you, say something. I watched one of these videos. Denzel Washington, he was speaking. He was saying, on your deathbed, all of your dreams are going to be standing around you. And they're going to be saying, we came to you. We were here for you to bring us into the world. And now we have to go to the grave with you. Try. Just attempt it. Do what you gotta do. It's terrifying. There's no getting around it, but I'll share a secret with you. The most of your fears are just in your head. Now, what does that mean? It means there's a cataclysmic difference between reality and what happens in your mind.
So I'll be the first one to tell you, folks. You become what you think about the most, and you don't become what you don't think about the most. So how's that work? The more I think about something, the more I manifest it. I don't lose. You know why I don't lose? Because I don't manifest losing. I manifest winning all the time. I'm going to find a way to win in everything I do. So it's 50-50. You can have stinking thinking, be on the devil's side of the house, or you can be positive as all get out and live on God's side of the house. I prefer to be on the positive side. We're going to see what we can do with David, because I'm going to reach out to him. David, if you're watching this video, man, give me a call. I've already sent you my phone number. I'd love to have a conversation with you and see how we can help you get to where you want to go. You're still a young man. A lot of life left to conquer. There's a lot.
All you have to do is take the first step, and then you take the next step. I don't mean to oversimplify this, because you could use this for anything that you're doing. It doesn't matter if you want to be a Navy SEAL or whatever it is that you want to do. And I'm not simplifying the process saying that it won't be scary or it won't be hard. But there is a difference between the fear that you feel right now, which lives and exists only in your head, and reality. If you continue on this path that you're on, you're doomed.
David, let me tell you something, man. Brother, I appreciate this video. I'm amazed that you made it. You tried to go be a Navy SEAL. You never took the first step, but you're telling people out there to take the first step, man. I commend you 1,000 times over. Hey, man, I'm going to let y'all know what happens. I'm reaching out to David right now.